Hi guys, my name is Philip Port. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to speak about why the Russian economy will boom. The main reason why, the obvious reason why the economy is going to boom is commodity prices are an all-time high. This is one of many factors. I'm going to speak about other factors that you might not be aware of, but obviously the main one is you've got oil prices above $70 again. Gas prices have recovered from a 50-year low. You've got all the other commodities starting to rebound in price and reach record levels. So Russia is a huge commodity exporter. What people are not aware about, it also exported $30 billion worth of agricultural products last year. So all of a sudden, Russia used to be an importer of food. Now it's a net exporter of food. So it's doing very, very well in the agricultural sector. Throwing top revenues for 2022 for the COVID-19 vaccine, huge potential. It's probably one of the best vaccines in the world, and a lot of countries are buying it. And once they gear up, that's going to bring in billions and billions of dollars on top of the oil, on top of the gas, on top of all the uranium and all the other things they export like coal. So that is the obvious income for Russia and why Russia is going to be flush with cash. What people are not aware about is to set up a business in Russia, the affordability is much, much cheaper than the West. Salaries are quite low. I mean, the average salary would be about $700-800 a month for the average worker. Your rents are much cheaper if you need to rent a warehouse or you need to rent a shop. Much, much cheaper. You also don't have, like, say, in the UK, you don't have the what we would call for residentials, the council tax or commercial property taxes. They don't have them in Russia. So that's going to save you a lot of money as well. Also, your electricity bills for running a business, say you're into metals and iron ore and things like that. Let's say that's your business. Your electricity prices are about 8, 9, 10 times cheaper than what we would expect to pay in the West. So your overheads are very, very good. My accountant is 10 times cheaper than what I would pay in the UK. So your administrative costs, much cheaper. Your logistics, like they call it benzene here or petrol in the UK, is about 60 or 55% cheaper here than it is in Europe or the UK. So obviously you take on your staffing costs, your administrative costs like your accountants and things like that. An accountant might earn 50,000 rubles a month, which is £500-600 a month. Whereas in the UK, that same accountant might be making, almost £4,000-5,000 a month. So your administrative costs are so much cheaper. So the cost of doing business is next to nothing. That's why Russia is going to be, again, flush with cash. You've got cheap overheads, companies making huge profits, and you've got a huge competitive advantage. Throw on top of that, because of all the sanctions and because of all, which haven't worked, by the way, the ruble is hugely undervalued. If you go off the Big Mac index, the cheapest Big Mac in the world is in Russia. I buy a Big Mac, French fries, Coca-Cola for £1.88. That's how much it cost me in Moscow or in Perm or different parts of Russia. £1.88, which is about what, $2.60, $2.70. It costs nothing. The other thing is Russia is a very highly educated country. More than 50% of people go to university. So it's very skilled, it's highly educated. Russia is famous, for example, the COVID-19 vaccine, Sputnik 5, is very famous in the science, in biology, in chemistry, very great mathematicians. You've got a highly educated workforce, and you can hire them at affordable prices. So great. Russia, okay, it also has a great infrastructure. You go to Moscow and it's like any city in the world. Very, very good transportation system. Probably close to 6-7 million people a day use either a metro or the tram or the bus, and it is very efficient. The metro system in Russia is huge, so your staff can get to work. It's good metro in St. Petersburg, fantastic metro in Moscow. So anywhere where they have a high population, you'll find a metro. As I said earlier, you throw on top of the costs of benzene. So if you've got to ship goods, it costs you nothing. If you've got to produce goods, it costs you nothing because your electricity prices are so much cheaper. Last but not least, Russia has a huge army, has nuclear weapons. Nobody is going to turn it into another Venezuela. Nobody is going to be able to attack it. Nobody is going to be able to take advantage like you see any oil country where, Saudi Arabia is forced to buy American arms. You look at what's happened in Syria, you look at what's happened in Libya, you look at all these countries that produce oil, Iraq being another one. That will never happen to Russia. Russia has weaned itself off the American dollar, doesn't rely on the American dollar anymore. It's not going to be attacked by the West. It can protect itself. Going back to the commodities as well, you've got Nord Stream 2 opening soon. So you've got 2 pipelines going to Europe carrying gas, and you've got a huge pipeline going to China carrying gas. They're protected. Sanctions aren't going to work against it to close them down like they've tried. In my opinion, I could be wrong. But my opinion is Europe needs gas, China needs gas, and it's going to be a huge windfall for the Russian economy. So all that money has to go somewhere. So it's going to go to the people who are going to buy products, going to go for entertainment, going to go to the cinema, going to go to restaurants. That's going to be distributed among the people. It's never been a better time to open and do business in Russia. Now let's have a look at the taxation. My business is on simplified taxation. I have a LLC, limited liability company. In Russia, they call them OOO, limited liability company. Now, simplified taxation is I have a choice: 15% tax on any profit, or if I don't make any profit, 1% of turnover. If I take it out in dividends, let's say I make a profit, I pay the 15% tax, and then there is a dividend which I think is 10%. So it will bring it up to 25% tax on any windfall that I take out of my LLC. Or I have a choice of simply paying 6% of turnover. So anything I earn that comes into the account, I just pay a straight 6%. And obviously, if I take a dividend, I just pay the tax on the dividends. If you want to set up business as a sole trader, you've got a couple of variants. You can set up as an individual entrepreneur and just pay a flat tax of 6% of turnover. You can, if your turnover is less than 2 million rubles a year, you can pay 4% tax on turnover if you invoice an individual. Or if I invoice a company as an individual entrepreneur, I can pay 6% if I invoice a company. So it's 4% or 6%. Once you go over that, then you pay a flat 13%. So you can pay 6% on everything, up to about 30 million rubles, or you can do another sole trader agreement where you pay 4% and 6%, or you can, as I've just said, set up the LLC where you're paying about, you're going to lose 25% in taxation. So you imagine 4% of turnover, possibly 6% of turnover. It's very, very low taxes for the individual entrepreneur. There is also a patent system. So once you register as an individual entrepreneur, you then can register a patent. Now, depending what your business is, you might be a shopkeeper, you might have a cafe. As long as it's less than 50 square meters of trading space, then what you pay is about 30,000 rubles a year. It depends which city you're doing business on. Moscow is a little bit more expensive, but still cheap. Perm is a little bit cheaper than Moscow. So on average, throughout Russia, you're going to pay £300 a year, and whatever you earn up to 30 million rubles, which is £300,000, is yours. So you register as an individual entrepreneur, and then you buy what we call a patent. That patent allows you to make up to 30 million rubles without paying any tax whatsoever, and you can put it in your bank account, you can spend it as you want, and it's clean money, it's yours. It's not as if you've been hiding the tax and things like that because you bought that patent. If your premises is above 50 square meters, let's say it's 100 square meters, you would need to buy 2 patents. So you would have a patent for one part of the property and another patent for another part of the property. So you'd kind of have 2 tenancy agreements, but most Russian business people do that. When it's a bigger premises, they take 2 patents. So just quick recap, why Russian economy will boom. Why has it never been so good to set up a business in Russia? Why it's never been this great to set up a business. Commodity prices all-time high. Everybody's been educated. Huge exports of food now for the last couple of years started to happen. Undervalued ruble. Everybody's been to university, and Russia has an army to protect itself. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. I hope you found that video informative. If you did, please press like. Please subscribe. I am going to be doing more videos about the Russian economy and about Russia in general. Thank you very much. Bye. Cheers, guys.